The Orange Bowl Live, Wake Forest versus Louisville. This Tuesday late night, live College Bowl series only on NASN.
Here's Michael Vick on the sideline. Sprained ankle knocked him out of the game early in the third quarter. Darrell Buckhalter came out early of this game when he was put in for Brian Westbrook when Andy Reid took out most of his starters when the Eagles knew they had won the division title with the Lions' upset of the Cowboys. Kickoff to Allen Rawson. Takes about 3 Eagles to bring him down at the 30. Return of 22.
You go back and take another look at the touchdown, and you're going to see Jimmy Williams right here. They're in a 2-deep coverage there. Actually, he did get someone in the flat, which held him just enough. That's the design of the route by the offense, holding Jimmy Williams and then able to get the ball in there off of Chris Crocker. And A.J. Feely hasn't had a lot of chances over the years to celebrate some of these touchdown throws, but he goes 90 yards on this one. That's a great feeling for any quarterback when you've thrown a touchdown like that. That was the longest touchdown play of the year from scrimmage for the Eagles, as Warwick Dunn going off the left side and just shy of the line, and a first down and a penalty flag down. 9-yard pickup.
Holding offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Nullify the gain with the penalty to Roddy White.
Yeah, that was a pretty obvious call. I saw it from here the entire time it was happening. There he is engaged with Roderick Hood, and he just never let go and let Hood go try to make a play on the ball.
First and 20.
Tell you what, A.J. Feely is having a heck of a ball game here tonight.
Now a black belt. From the 20-yard line, Matt Schaub hitting Norwood, and Norwood down on the play made by Dhani Jones. Well, the Eagles and the Giants, you were there for both of them. Plexico Burris with the overtime catch after a huge Eagle lead of 24-3. Then in week 15, a lot closer in Giant Stadium, but the Eagles win that one. So they both won on the opposite team's field, and will meet for the third time next Sunday on Fox.
Well, and as we know, the Eagles have won 4 in a row coming into this game, but I think it was that Giants game to where they really started believing they had something special going, because those first 2 wins against Carolina and Washington, they really didn't play real good football in those.
Second down and 17. Crumpler. So the wild card matchup next Sunday on Fox begins at 4 o'clock Eastern with the pregame show, 1 p.m. Pacific. The Giants against the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Giants talk away the points scored. The away team has done well in the fourth quarter and overtime, as you can see. So that sets up what should be a dramatic and intense game between these two rivals. Giants buoyed by their victory over Washington last night. Matt Schaub with plenty of time, and making the play is Dwayne Blakely, tight end. And Blakely with the catch at the 45 of the Eagles. Quentin Michael defending.
Well, Matt Schaub, he got plenty of time in the pocket to deliver this throw. He's auditioning probably for a lot of teams here tonight. And that's a pretty good look right there of exactly what Matt Schaub saw when he delivered that ball. Good coverage by Matt McCoy, but yet Schaub lays it right over his hands and into the hands of Blakely.
28 yards. Warwick Dunn. And Dunn picking up 4. Jerome McDougal making the play. The Giants going against the Eagles next week. Let's talk a little bit more of that. And Eli Manning now, it was Tiki Barber's game dominating last night. But, you know, Manning threw 1 touchdown pass, didn't make any mistakes, but he's got to come up big in that game for the Giants.
There's no question. He's in a little bit of a slump right now. He's not throwing the ball well. And You can't count on that from Tiki Barber each week. He's going to have to be a factor if they're going to win games in the playoffs.
Schaub on the move. And will step out of bounds after a minimal gain.
You know, but if you think back to what got all this started, you know, again, for the Philadelphia Eagles, that win against Carolina, Lito Shepherd intercepts a pass in the end zone, which secures that victory. Didn't look particularly good the way that it happened. And yet they've been able to gain a little confidence and win some games. And now they're a very confident team going into the playoffs. You know, who's to say that that can't happen with the New York Giants? They won a game last night, didn't play particularly well, but I think that they will come into this game next week against these Eagles. They always do, and it'll be a tight ball game.
Well, they have a new life. That's the way they have to look at it. And Matt Schaub's pass, and it's intercepted by Sean Considine. He's been around the ball all game. And Considine, who became a starter in week 7, picks this one off. It was intended for Dwayne Blakely. And that's the first interception of the year for number 37.
Call and text your T-Mobile mates more, so you won't miss a thing. One great rate on pay-as-you-go. Mates rates from T-Mobile.
TV Digital ist da. 14 Tage volles Programm. Top-Übersichtlichkeit im großen Format. Neu und einzigartig in Deutschland. Komplett mit allen Programmen von Kabel Digital Home. Plus ARD, RTL, Pro7 und Co. in einem Heft. Alle 31 Kabel Deutschland Programme mit Bewertung und allen Sendeterminen. Bestellen Sie jetzt Ihr Abo unter 080 5 99 77 44. TV Digital. Das ist die Zukunft.
5'9" Steve Smith has emerged as the NFL's premier scoring threat. Don't believe me? He'll tell you.
If you see this ugly face, that means I scored.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know what to tell you about Steve Smith.
Steve Smith touchdown.
Taking candy from a baby. I know somebody better pour water on that man.
Talk about a game-changing player.
You see me again.
Sean Considine with the interception for the Eagles. That's first turnover by the Falcons. Jim Moreeee's team trying to wind up at 500 on the year, and the pass to basket. And riding him out of bounds was Jimmy Williams as we check in with Pam.
Yeah, Dick, I spoke with Jim Moreeeee before the game, and I must have asked him 3 times how he's handling all the speculation that he's going to be fired. Finally, he said, you know, it's hard. I've got 4 kids and a foundation in Atlanta. We're just getting off the ground. But he said when you're a head coach in the NFL, everybody has their turn. And then he proceeded to wield an imaginary baseball bat, indicating that he's the one being whacked with it. Moore said he spoke with owner Arthur Blank a couple of times this week, but that he doesn't know anything. Blank politely declined discussing the matter when I approached him before the game.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. 2nd down and 1, and the handoff to Ryan Moats. There's no question, however, that that radio interview, which Jim Moreeeee said he was just joking when he had said December 6th that he would like the University of Washington job done with a friend of his out in the Pacific Coast, according to reports, the most egregious thing, because Arthur Blank, you know, felt that it might be a disloyal kind of comment, and Jim Moreeeee said that he was joking, and people who heard it thought not. But whatever it is, it's one of those damage control items.
Well, reports are that Arthur Blank didn't buy into the comments made by Jim Moreeeee that he was joking. I think anybody that listened to that interview would come away saying he wasn't joking.
Feely gets basket, the second option, flag down.
You know, the other part of that, Dick, is You know, the comments made by Jim Moreeeee Sr., there's no question that
illegal contact, defense, number 56. Penalties decline, first down.
There's no question that that made an impact on Michael Vick, because Michael Vick even talked about it this week and saying that, you know, he hasn't yet gotten over those remarks. And I do know that Arthur Blank thinks an awful lot of Michael Vick. And I thought it was very telling this week with all the spin that was coming out of Atlanta. Not once did Michael Vick say he wanted to see Jim Moreeeee back as his head coach. And I think the fact that he did not come out and say that was very telling. And how much is Michael Vick's thoughts going to weigh in on what ultimately happens with Jim Moreeeee?
Ryan Moats with the run. In fact, what Michael Vick has talked about is the fact that the team is underachieved. He said we have too much talent here and we just can't come out every week to try to wing it, was the way Michael Vick put it.
Well, I think that one of the things that has probably hurt Jim Moreeeee the most as a head coach has been, it just seems like he wants to establish too close of a personal relationship with too many of the key players within the football team. And I've been a part of some teams that we've had head coaches that have tried that. I think it becomes very, very difficult then in tough times to separate yourself from that and really be able to be the head coach that sometimes a team needs.
Incomplete to Reno Mahe.
You know, the other part of that, though, Dick, is, you know, I think sometimes it's very easy to say, well, we want to make a change. And sometimes those feelings, you know, are justified. But if you do make a change, who are you going to make a change to? And if you don't have somebody in line as far as who's going to be the head coach, and I don't know what exactly Arthur Blank and the Atlanta Falcons are going to decide. But if they don't have somebody that they think is going to do a better job than Jim Moreeeee in place, then I don't think you make that move.
Timeout, Eagles. We'll be right back.
As well as being a thirst-quenching soft drink,
yes, that's right, Dave.
A Sprite is also a sort of goblin. This Sprite is not so refreshing at a festival. And it definitely hasn't got any taste.
Here we go. Right and left and right and right. Left and right and right and left.
Try new Sprite Z. Great Sprite taste, zero added sugar.
You're watching NASN, the North American Sports Network, a new and exciting sports channel dedicated to the best in live North American sports 24/7. On NASN, you can experience over 100 live NFL games this season, plus the playoffs and the Super Bowl live. Watch up to 175 regular season NHL games and live postseason, including the Stanley Cup Finals. Feel the excitement of live Major League Baseball with up to 260 regular season games and exclusive coverage of the World Series. NASN also brings you an exclusive lineup of college sports with live college football and basketball. And with a daily lineup of sports news, talk shows, highlights, and analysis, NASN is your channel for the very best in live North American sports. Visit NASN.com for scheduling news and information.
Well, a little early for St. Patrick's Day, or for that matter, the Mummers Parade, annually celebrated on Thanksgiving Day in Philadelphia. Perfect vision for the Eagle as we have 3rd down and 10 with under 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. A.J. Feely in Falcon territory, throwing incomplete. And that will bring up 4th down and 10. And Feely saying it was me.
Yeah, he had a shot at Matt Schobel. Matt Schobel ran a good route, and you know, this has got to be fun for him as well, because like I said, he's getting a lot of opportunities to be on the receiving end of some passes today, but A.J. Feely knows that he missed him on that one and could have kept that drive alive.
So Dirk Johnson back to kick, and Alan Rossum standing at the 10 for the Falcons. Good hang time. The ball bounces at the 3 and unable to keep it in play was Greg Lewis. Well, 2 weeks from tonight at 8, 7 Central, don't miss the explosive 2-night, 4-hour season premiere of 24. A new day begins 2 weeks from tonight at 8, 7 Central, right here only on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, Arthur Blank has come out of the sky boxes and going over to Michael Vick first for the good wishes for the new year. 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Falcons. Jarius Norwood is the running back, and he gets the call and gets a big opening, and still on his feet, getting the first down and almost getting to the 40-yard line, but Hansen brings him down after a gain of 18. And Troy, you made a very good point about, you know, fans and people say, well, let's get rid of the coach and everything. You have to have the right guy come in, and of course when you do have a new coach, you have new coordinators, a new system. You know, the Sean Payton situation in New Orleans is a rarity, where a coach comes in the first year does as well as he did.
That's right, and then you say, okay, well, you know, what type of offense is it that you're going to run? I mean, I think you're
Norwood. Running one with Norwood wouldn't be a bad one. 17 yards.
I'll tell you what, Jarius Norwood, I think is going to be a really good football player in this league for a while. He's got great quickness. He's a tough guy for someone that's got the speed that he has, and he's learned a lot throughout this rookie season. You can see him there, you know, not shying away from contact. I had a chance to visit with him on the field prior to the game, and you know, he admitted, as most rookies do, at some point late in the year they hit the wall. He said he hit the wall about week 10. And it's very hard for these rookie players to fight through that, but he's been able to.
From the 44 of the Eagles, Matt Schaub going underneath to Justin Griffith, who's hit immediately. And a loss of 1. Well, the bowl action will start tomorrow, and what a great week coming up ahead. The Tostitos Bowl Bash begins with the AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic. Nebraska takes on Auburn. Then it's the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl as Boise State looks to complete unbeaten season when they battle the Oklahoma Sooners. The Tostitos Bowl Bash begins tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, in high definition, only on Fox. You'll be glued to your television all week watching those games. Norwood up the middle for a couple.
You know what I like? You look at the sidelines here for the Philadelphia Eagles and Andy Reid and Jim Johnson. I mean, these guys are still coaching these players up. I mean, they definitely want them to continue to play well and go into the playoffs feeling good about themselves. And with that, you know, in order to do that, you know, a win today would go a long ways in helping them achieve that. And so, you know, they don't take any days off. There's no question about that. And that's, again, one of the reasons why Jeff Garcia has enjoyed playing here so much.
3rd down and 8, empty backfield. Schaub takes off, will get the first down. No one up ahead. And he finally slides in an awkward style to the 23.
Now you're going to see things open up as he drops back right up the middle. And the coverage there on Warwick Dunn, and then he goes ahead and takes it. And not the smoothest slide you've ever seen. A little bit of a Charlie Hustle head first jobby there.
Something first.
So yeah, maybe a hip first.
First down with under 3.5 to play. Hand off to Warwick Dunn. And Dunn getting to the 20-yard line. He scored the Falcons' only touchdown in that NFC Championship game loss to the Eagles in 2004.
Well, I think he's an awfully good running back and someone who, you know, I think people around the league respect, but as far as probably the average NFL fan, probably does not get as much respect or as much recognition as he deserves. He's a very good football player and has been in this league for a while.
2nd down and 6. The Eagles lead 24-17. And here is Dunn. And Dunn tackled from behind by Omar Gaither, rookie from Tennessee, making his 5th start today, and one of the big additions to Jim Johnson's defensive unit to help turn that tide.
Yeah, he really helped them. You know, Matt McCoy got banged up. His shoulder was bothering him. And so several weeks back, they went with Omar Gaither and inserted him into the lineup. And he's one of the reasons also that this defense has been improved in recent weeks against the run.
3rd down and 3. Matt Schaub's pass caught by Crumpler, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Falcons as we get to the 2-minute warning. An 8-yard pickup, and the Falcons needing a touchdown and an extra point to tie this game. We'll be back.
TV Digital ist da. 14 Tage volles Programm. Top-Übersichtlichkeit im großen Format. Neu und einzigartig in Deutschland. Komplett mit allen Programmen von Kabel Digital Home. Plus ARD, RTL, Pro7 und Co. in einem Heft. Alle 31 Kabel Deutschland Programme mit Bewertung und allen Sendeterminen. Bestellen Sie jetzt Ihr Abo unter 080 5 99 77 44. TV Digital. Das ist die Zukunft.
You pick the phone, you fix the monthly bill, so you always know what's coming. You fix from T-Mobile.
Live college basketball continues on NASN with an exclusive doubleheader. The Bulldogs start the new year by snapping at the heels of Florida in a lockjaw battle with the Gators. Then it's a Pac-10 showdown as the division's best team, UCLA, take on Oregon. A live and exclusive college basketball double this Saturday on NASN.
Fox's football coverage doesn't end when the games are over. Afterwards, stick around for the OT live from New York, where Joe, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy bring you exclusive interviews, extended highlights, and a look ahead to the playoffs. The OT presented by Lowe's coming up next only on Fox. That'll be LA, not New York. Just 3,000 miles off. Handoff to Warwick Dunn. And Dunn gets to about the 3-yard line. 4-yard pickup for Warwick Dunn. Talk about injuries that have affected teams. Javon Kearse, who hurt his knee, out for the year, went on injured reserve in week 2. How about losing Javon Kearse, even though Trent Cole came in and had a great year?
Yeah, they lost him in that overtime loss to the New York Giants there in week 2, and it did change things up for them along that defensive line. No longer were they then able to rotate guys as much as they had been.
2nd down and goal. And here is Dunn. And Dunn is stopped at about the 1.
That was Quentin Michael, too. I mean, you talked about last week and the job that he did on the goal line stand against the Dallas Cowboys. He does another great job here, stopping Warwick Dunn.
Timeout, Eagles.
Hey, want a Bud Light?
Yeah.
Whoa. Rubber floors. Just had them installed. Now we'll never break a Bud Light.
Eagles have 1 timeout left. Jeff Garcia with a 4-1 record, sitting this one out. Arthur Blank on the sideline, as he usually comes toward the end of every Falcon game.
He and Jerry Jones, they've got that routine down, don't they? They both head down there to the sidelines in the waning moments of the 4th quarter.
11th play of the drive, 3rd and goal. They'll mark it at the 2. And Schaub falls down and is sat on, so to speak, by Matt McCoy. So 4th and goal.
It looked like he must have gotten stepped on coming out of there. You know, oftentimes an offensive lineman, usually a center, you know, will be the one that steps on his foot.
And the Eagles calling their last timeout.
He just stumbled. He just tripped over himself. He just tripped over himself coming out of there, as you're going to see right there. His left leg is why he fell, and that's disappointing for the Atlanta Falcons not to be given at least an opportunity here on that 3rd down play to score the touchdown.
Well, they're going to try it here on 4th down and goal from the 10-yard line. Jeremiah Trotter came onto the field to give the defense a little pep talk.
Oh, Axeman getting them going.
All right here, 4th down and goal from the 10, with the Falcons trailing by a touchdown. Matt Schaub fires, tipped away, incomplete, and the Eagles take over on downs. Michael Jenkins, and it's Joselio Hansen, who has made several big plays today for the Eagles in a reserve role, of course, and the Eagles will take over on downs, preserving their lead.
Well, it's a good drive there by the Atlanta Falcons, even getting down inside the 10-yard line with a chance to tie the game, but a good stand by the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's the route by Michael Jenkins, and if the ball's thrown a little bit further to the inside, maybe he's got an opportunity, but high and behind, Jenkins had no chance.
Now the Falcons have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. And with 1:06 on the clock, we'll use them here as Jeremiah Trotter, because of the situation with the Cowboys losing, the Eagles wrapping up the NFC East title without having to win today, observing from the sidelines. And off to Reno Mahe. And Falcons call a timeout. Thanks to our production and our technical staff, wishing them all a happy new year. Today's game produced by Richie Zients and directed by Artie Kempner. The technical producer is Joe Stevens. Technical director is Rich Basili, and the audio mixer is Fred Alduis. Associate directors are Marcy Kempner and Judy Huang. Production coordinator is Francisco Contreras. Broadcast associates are Zach Fields and Rich Gross. The coordinating producer of the pregame show is Scott Ackerson, and the director is Bob Levy. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Chris Visser has been our spotter, and Rick Odioso, our statistician, thanks to them. Reno Mahe, and wrestled down by Ed Hartwell as the Falcons call their 2nd timeout. They have 1 left. Well, coming up, the OT presented by Lowe's. So don't go anywhere. Joe, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from Los Angeles. Fox Sports ticker. And what about the future of Bill Cowher? That's an issue.
Well, that's an interesting one, too. I mean, I've got to believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers would want to see him come back, but what does Bill Cowher want to do?
Supposed to be this week that he is going to announce his plans, and I guess they were attempting to negotiate an extension during the year, and whatever happened there did not break, kind of broke down, you might say.
Well, I'm one of those guys, I'll tell you, that if you look around the league at the teams that are successful, they have tremendous coaching at the top, from the head coaches, and nobody exemplifies that better than Bill Cowher and the job that he's done during his tenure with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If he leaves, I mean, those are going to be pretty big shoes to fill for whoever comes in.
Dan Rooney has hired just 2 coaches in his life, Chuck Noll and Bill Cowher.
Well, his track record suggests that he'll hire another good one if he has to.
3rd down and 6. Feely will slide. And that'll be it. And a timeout called, the Falcons' 3rd and final timeout. And when this game is over, we will send you to bonus coverage of the finale between the 49ers and the Denver Broncos, who are trailing right now. Denver needs to win to make the playoffs. If they don't, the New York Jets will be the 5th seed in the AFC, and Kansas City will eke in as the 6th seed.
I mean, that would really be amazing when you think about it, for Denver to put themselves in this position to where all they really had to do was win today's game. And you know, so many other teams are reliant on other things happening and determining their fate. And then to lose to San Francisco. San Francisco has surprised a lot of people this year in the way in which they've played. But I think everybody would have thought that Denver would be able to win that game there in Denver.
Well, the 49ers kicking a field goal have taken a 23-16 lead over Denver right now, so they're up by a touchdown. Dirk Johnson kicking to a very dangerous Allen Rawson, fielding this one at the 41. Flag down. That'll likely go against Atlanta the way he was running, and possible illegal block or holding. 43-yard punt. Philly with a job today, 3 touchdown passes with about a half a minute remaining and no timeouts remaining for either team.
There are 2 fouls during the return. Illegal block in the back, receiving team, number 31. Personal foul, grasping the face mask, kicking team, number 96. Penalties offset at the spot of the receiving team's foul. First down, Atlanta.
Michael Vick with an ankle sprain, now on the sideline after sitting most of the second half.
And here's a chance to look at what happened here with Gaither, but
Lance Schulters with a block on Considine.
Yeah, and both of those on Gaither, and then Considine is where the flags were thrown.
Well, what a revival for Jeff Garcia's career, starting with the 49ers, going to Cleveland and Detroit. Had 2 offers, Houston and Philadelphia. Said, I'm decided to go with the better team. Went with the Eagles, and it's paid off. Flag is down. Schaub's pass, and it's incomplete, but a penalty marker down with under a half a minute on the clock. And that'll go against the Falcons.
Holding offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Wayne Gandy.
He gets him there with the left hand and then goes to the ground and pulls him down with him. I tell you, these officials haven't been shy about throwing the laundry today.
First down and 20. The ball back to the 31 of the Falcons. 26 seconds to go. Eagles leading 24-17. Pass thrown underneath to Warwick Dunn, and he'll go out of bounds. Stop the clock with 19 ticks. He got 7 on that play.
You know, when you got a backup quarterback, you know, like Atlanta has in Matt Schaub, you never really know how much work they get in practice. In being in the no-huddle 2-minute offense, typically the starter is the only guy who gets that work during the week.
Matt Schaub with practically an 83 passer rating. Second down and 13, and going deep, Roddy White, and White makes the catch. A beautifully timed play by Roddy White on the Hail Mary. The clock is running out. They're not going to get it off. The game is over, and the Eagles have won it. So a 48-yard pass, and the Falcons can't get downfield fast enough. The Eagles wind up 10-6. They win the NFC East. The Falcons end up 7-9 on the year. And Roddy White with the catch, but with no timeouts remaining, the Falcons couldn't get it set up for one last play. So the final score, the Philadelphia Eagles 24 and the Atlanta Falcons 17. And we'll be back here in Philadelphia in just a moment, and we're still going to head you out to Denver for the finale of the 49ers-Broncos game.